just following Bahrain testing day 1, day 2, day 3. We will hear live morning sessions of that. And there are a lot of things circulating right now, especially about Mercedes. Okay. But before we even get into that, I'm going to get into some family business. All right. I'm going to get into some family business. Talk to some people that definitely have been supporting the channel. So let me go ahead and go big. So right now, I need, okay, when you're a Wolfpack member of the channel, you get the exclusive Wolfpack podcast shirt, all right? It comes to you free, shipping, all of that. It's my way of showing you appreciation. And right now, I need members Dave and G5MDS to contact me for your shirts. Hit me up in the Discord group. Dave and G5MDS, hit me up so I can get you your shirts shipped. All right, now let's get to this other business. Also, we will be live today on Sunday. Today, we're going to be live at 11 a.m. for the Esports F1 22 race, and again live at 1500 for the 1-on-1 battle of shit talking race. But now let's go ahead and get into some things that we want to talk about as far as Mercedes. There's a lot of things going on. A lot of people either discounting or having high hopes about what Mercedes is going to do going forward in the 2023 season, and rightfully so. I will say that I think people are overreactive and hypersensitive to Mercedes when it comes to news in regards to their competitors and what they have going on and what Mercedes has going on. So let's go ahead and go into this first. This picture right now is circulating very highly, at a high frequency. Good morning, Sylvia Witt Kelly, and at a high frequency. And it's because people are using this picture to deduce. And let me say this real quick. I don't have to be a damn aerodynamicist in order to give my opinion on what I see or what I think I see, what it is going to do. All right. I have worked around the F-18. I've worked around the EA6B. I've been around those things. I took aerodynamics in high school. I have a computer and science and technology degree. I also have an aviation and administration and safety degree. None of those are aerodynamics degrees, but I've been around aviation. I flew and built several model airplanes. I've also built a helicopter from an electronical train and took those parts and built cardboards and propellers. So I do have some knowledge of, or at least enough experience to build my own opinion off of. Don't judge me. Don't be a hater, okay? Don't hate me, hate the game. So as I was saying here, in comparison to the W13 and W14, people are starting to draw some very close conclusions about how they feel about the new design, all right? Now, this picture is circulating around, and people are using this picture based off the lockup smoke and how it is going back into the rear wheels. Now, I spoke about the W13 earlier, like when they first announced it, that one of my concerns was the wind or wake not going to be pushed out wide enough in order not to impact the rear wheels and cause drag. Good people are using this picture saying, yo, the smoke is traveling, going right into the rear wheels. That's wake, that's drag, that's resistance. It's not efficient is what they're saying. You can't use this picture alone and these variables to try to really draw a sound conclusion if this is going to be a problem. I think we already know that Mercedes have problems to solve that other teams don't have to solve. But have you also received an indication that there is progress from 2022 to 2023? Well, numbers don't lie, and that answer would have to be yes. Whether you like Mercedes or not, the answer would have to be yes. Why? Because we saw several times Hamilton and Russell kick out times that were competitive within the testing range. All right. Now we are talking about practice. We're talking about practice, and we're talking about a very short sample size in regards to an entire racing season. All right. That is also true. Okay. So, but still, when we saw Williams pop their heads up as far as Alex Albon in number one, it was a talk. So this is also going to be a talk. When we saw Zhou, I think it was day 2, leave that session entirely at the top of the charts, it was a talk. When we see Alonso and Aston Martin hit the top of 5 charts in testing, it's a talk. It also has to be a positive talk when you see Mercedes within 0.3 of the RB19. Now, with respect, Max Verstappen not in that car. I will give you that. Max Verstappen not in that car, but we also saw times from Max Verstappen. And as of right now, day 3 session, Lewis Hamilton laying down a 130.664. All right, a 130.664. So the car has gained pace. They have made progress. And we will talk about other things as far as on this classification list later when I make another video. So my thing is this, and I'm just going to be dead honest about how I feel about not only the design, Mercedes' choice to stick with their concept and philosophy. They're alone, okay? They are alone in this. It's no secret. 2 other teams, Mercedes power unit clients, abandoned the slim down side pod. Now, I hate when I keep hearing, I don't hate it. It just bugs me when I hear people say zero side pod, zero side pod. There is a damn side pod there. It's a slim side pod. It's at this point in time, a non-traditional side pod, but it is a side pod. If that was not the case, you would not have an inlet gap there. It's a very different, very slim down side pod. And it does put them in a very alone situation. They're alone. They can't walk up and down the paddock or the pit. They can't walk up and down the grid and look at other cars in regards to the side pod design and say, hey, there's something that's being done that's very similar to ours. We could probably take that and build off of that. They are alone in that. But you know what else they are alone in? They're alone in as far as their ceiling, how far that ceiling is. Other teams that are starting to adopt the Red Bull and Ferrari side pods have therefore decided that their ability to grow is as far as that. They have decided that their capacity to develop and grow and see how much potential they can get out of this design is dependent on the Red Bull and Ferrari design. Therefore, that is it. Mercedes have chose a lonely and could be more lucrative path. Okay? They have. When you do something completely different from the rest, you're not only alone, you're not only taking a bigger, different risk, but you're also saying, I want an exponential growth or capacity to grow that is unlike others. It is a risk, reward, risk situation. Okay? It is not going to be impossible for Mercedes to develop over the course of time to control that wake and push it where it is most efficient to them. I'm not going to say like it is for everybody else. I'm going to say most efficient for them and their design. It's not impossible. It's also seen that they've been able to pump out times with a design that people definitely feel right now is not the most efficient. And some of those people are Mercedes fans. Some people are Mercedes fans and saying, listen, they're about to screw this up again. They're about to jack it up again. They can't get over themselves. They can't decide that, hey, at this point in time, it's time for us to change and abandon this shit and go with what everybody else is typically going with on the grid. I'm not mad at you for that. You have every right to feel that way, okay? You have every right to look at other pictures as far as this and see different floor designs and flicks and elements that are working. We saw Red Bull have an umpteenth amount of FlowViz paint on that car, and it did look good. It did look good. If you looked at other shots of FlowViz paint, when you see how wind and air is not really agreeing with the surface and showing you that it's not really traveling and flowing across that surface as it should in order for you to get the performance you want, you can tell that Red Bull's FlowViz did look damn good. I'm talking about from front to rear of that car. It was flowing the path in which they wanted it to flow. Mercedes has chosen what some would see as a path of most resistance and not least. But I can tell you this, they are under pressure having this design according to the masses. But pressure does 2 things. It busts pipes or it makes diamonds. And that is the situation that Mercedes is in right now. Either this design is going to go for bust, and they then will have to go ahead and go to another spec side pod that is more traditional to the rest, or this design is under so much pressure, so much development and data has been collected that it then will have the properties and the minerals to become a diamond on the rough. This is what could happen. Mercedes could nail this shit before half the season. They could develop this car and this concept. And then you know what happens? What happens? What has happened this season? What have you seen this season? A lot of teams, McLaren, Haas, shit, even damn fucking Ferrari, shit, you got Aston Martin, Alpine, have all developed bits and pieces from Ferrari and Red Bull because those cars performed well in a new regulation and one of those teams won the championship. So you know what you have? This season you have a copy-like mentality. They want to take from that. That's not bad. That's what happens in life. When you're the shit, you do something that's good, you look great, people want to imitate a little bit of that. Of course, they're going to take it, and maybe some people will take it and kind of personalize it themselves. Some people just are going to copy it exactly, which is why we heard the Green Bull, although Aston Martin this season looks more like Ferrari if you really look at their side pod design, especially when you look at those gullies and those dig outs. They look more like Ferrari, but the point is they've taken from two cars that have performed well in a new regulation era, and rightfully so. Red Bull side pods are filling up the grid. They are filling up the grid. And some of you may be starting to wonder, is it that Mercedes are not caring about Lewis Hamilton's 8th championship? At this point in time, let me just be honest with you. Although we feel and you feel like they should and they owe Lewis Hamilton everything they have to get him that 8th, 083, the F1 season is a marathon, and in the environment, it's not how you start, because I know that's what you meant. It's how you finish, and that is a damn good point. That is a good damn point. It is not so much how you start, but how you finish. We've seen several teams start off rough and end well, but it is about how well you performed when you get to the finish to make it all worth it. And right now, Mercedes is the type of team where it is championship or it is bust. Mercedes has developed a culture of people where they are expecting championships or it is bust. Ferrari is a team that has been in Formula One history and heritage of racing where it is championship or it is bust. Red Bull right now are on the hot seat because people want to know if they're going to be as dominant as Mercedes and as Ferrari and as Williams has even been in the past, or it is bust. A lot of people are saying it's different for Toto Wolff right now. It is different for Toto Wolff and the rest of the team at Mercedes right now because this is a situation unlike any other seasons before now that they have been in. Now they are on the back foot. They are having to decide and prove to everybody and themselves, more likely themselves and Lewis Hamilton, that this design is going to pay out in dividends. I just don't know if this design is going to pay out in dividends in time for Lewis Hamilton to get 8th world championship. But at the end of the day, is it not more broad than that? Is it not more about the entire team and product of that? They may see development right now that, yes, we know, and they may have had meetings to say, we know that this is not going to pay out right now. But are you going to say, even those people that say, I don't know much about aerodynamics, can you say that you know more than Mercedes engineers and aerodynamicists? No, because if that was the case, you'd have a job on a Formula One team. You're throwing stones down and not throwing up. You would have a job at a Formula One team. Yeah, it's easy for us to say that. It's a fact that we can say Mercedes pit stops suck ass in respect to the rest of the grid. We're looking at time, so we can literally say that. But unless you've been in the meetings, unless you were in CFD, unless you were at the air chamber, unless you were pumping smoke over that car, unless you were paying flow viz on that car and watching it and gathering that data, you can't even for sure say that this is a bust situation. You don't like the performance last season. I don't like the performance last season of the slimmed down side pods. But you know what I do know? Progress was made toward the end of that season. You know what I also know? What I see at the start of testing right now was far better than we saw last season. What I see in testing right now is the fact that what happened, they pumped out times that were competitive in regards to that. And look at how many laps, look at how many fewer laps Lewis Hamilton has than Red Bull with Perez. Matter of fact, I tell you what, let me also bring up this board. Let me go ahead and bring up this board because we got another one, right? We got another classification board. Let's bring up day 2 classifications. Bow, day 2. Verstappen, 131.650. No 130 there. No 130 there. That's not an end. That's not a it's not saying that it can't be done. It's not saying that he can't do it. We surely know that Verstappen can do it. But it's just saying it wasn't done then. And it wasn't. So Mercedes has pumped out times that would lead you, or at least give you some type of evidence that indeed they have the ability to compete this season. Especially when you look at day 3 classification and Lewis Hamilton hops in while Russell laid a 131.442. I told you, when Lewis Hamilton gets on track in the later sessions, we're going to see if he can beat that time. And he did. 130.664. While Sergio Perez lays down a 130.3. Of course, damn near 3 and 500 faster. But the point is, a lot of you said if Mercedes can get within tenths of Red Bull, they have a chance. So now are people going to start backtracking on that? They are far more ahead than they were last season, at the beginning of this season. Don't forget, they're still going to have to develop. This right here, by far, has given them so much information about the design that they came out of the wind tunnel with, and they're going to apply that. It's no doubt Mercedes is not any different than the team that you saw go as dominant as they have been. What happened? They hit a new era. They hit a new era. They hit a wall like everybody else did. Only difference is when Red Bull and Ferrari dropped down into the new era, they hit the top of the wall and happened to fall on the other side of the fence and get a running start. And what did Red Bull have? Red Bull have Adrian Newey. Name me somebody else on the grid that's active in team development that had experience with ground effect cars other than Adrian Newey, and that is putting their hands into the development of the new car. Red Bull. That's a big benefit for them. And it paid off. It paid off. But still, now that these other teams and engineers and aerodynamicists have their hands on the ground effects era, we're going to see if they now can catch up. I think we already see the gap closing. We already see the gap closing this season alone just in testing. And now, of course, race is a totally different thing. In the race, it's a totally different thing. What's up, fam? What's up, Sean, Mary Beanie, Galactus? What's up? Let me say hello to some of my fans. Sylvia Witt Kelly, the R2 Tech. What's up, Marciano? What's up, man? I see y'all up in here. I see you up in here. You know, I was on my rant horse. I see the fam up in here. But yeah. So within a week's time, we're going to see if things are going to change. Mary Beanie just blessed somebody. Mary Beanie she also, Tuesday, we're going to try to come live Tuesday because Mary Beanie's almost getting ready to get her Wolfpack family shirt. So she's almost ready to get her Wolfpack family shirt. Her badge should probably turn green Tuesday. We're going to try to go live Tuesday, and she's just blessed somebody with the opportunity not to be in a Discord group, but to have that green badge, to be in different and private family meetings. And also, we will be here at 11 a.m. for the race, and then again at 1500 for the one-on-one battle between two of the drivers that also probably will be in that race. All right, we're going to be in today. We are going to be in Mexico, and then for the race, we will be in COTA, Singapore, and then Monaco if they make it here. It's going to be the best out of 3, so be here for that if you want to see that race. But people, I have taken on the persona and the idea and the attitude that I'm not expecting anything that I can't indicate by seeing visibly or variables that I'm looking at on a leader time board. And if I go by these variables right now, Mercedes still has a shot. Now, most people like a shot's not enough. 2021 left a bad taste in my mouth. 2022 left a horrible taste in my mouth as design. In 2023, I don't want to see anything but damn winning the championship. I'm not mad at you for that. I'm just saying it might not happen. 083 says Red Bull's time in the sun is short. When Honda leaves, do you seriously think that Red Bull Ford can make a top line off the rip, engine off the rip? That's another point. I do not. I do not have faith in Ford to do that. Ford came into Formula One before and fell on their damn face. And it is only until they collaborated with Cosworth that they were able to overbadge something and make something look productive, period. The R2 Tech been a member for 6 months. Welcome, bro. Merck will have a great pace during the race. 2022 season, Sir Lewis had great pace and multifaceted man on the track. And this is a point I'm going to add to that. Don't forget Lewis Hamilton was sacrificing races pace for development. He was sacrificing race pace for testing and data collection. Lewis Hamilton was doing that. All the grunt work while allowing Russell to have a good first season where Mercedes as good as he can have and it paid off by Russell getting a race win. In a race, while I might add, the opportunity was there to switch out and give Lewis Hamilton that win. Very possible for them to try to work out a strategy for that to happen, but Lewis not worried about it. People don't give him enough credit for that. And now all of that investment in 2022, I believe, has started to show itself in 2023 testing. Mary Beanie, Mercedes ain't to show their hand-tilled quality. They ain't going to show it. Now, Mary Beanie made more than a couple of good points, not only in the Discord, but even here in the chat. Mary Beanie said to us in our Discord Wolves Den meet, just wait. They're going to show you. And they did. Day 3, Lewis pumped out a hell of a time. Mary Beanie's been watching Formula One for a very long time, and she is very deeply invested in Mercedes, and she's very knowledgeable about past Mercedes and what they've done and what probably they can do. And she's been right thus far. Now, I'm not saying that the capacity of growth in the W14 slimmed down revision 1, because this is revision 1, revision 0 was 2022. This is revision 1. I'm not saying that going forward that the capacity of growth is going to exceed the rest of the designs on the grid. What I'm saying is you don't know. You don't know. And because their design is so different, it gives them a capacity, an infinite capacity at this point in time, right? If we go through this season and they're steadily progressing, and they catch up to the field, and now they're in a battle for 1 and 2 of the championship in 2023, even if they don't win it, if they then progress to the point they're in a battle for 1 and 2, well, damn, what's going to happen next season? What's going to happen next season? The mechanic, I'm confident in our boys. We got this. And that's not a bad point. The mechanic said it. He's confident. He should be. You should be. You should also have some kind of concern. That's normal. But if they catch up to be 1 and 2 this season from last season, look at I know where they ended up, but look at the point spread was crazy. And we're talking about 1 and 2 within, let's say 1 and 2 within 10, 15 points. Well, shit. What's going to happen in 2024? So in 2024, if they come out testing and they busting ass, and then all the rest of the teams that have similar side pods start grouping together underneath that, well, you know what the hell you got? You got a recipe for panic and a recipe for disaster for other teams, because now Mercedes would have shown by then that the growth was exponentially better than the rest of those designs. And now what you're going to have to do is turn tide, because teams are going to start to wonder, well, shit, is the Red Bull and Ferrari side pod design limited at this point in time? Have they now maxed out their growth? Of course, they'll have the opportunity to prove that in testing and the following season if they develop and things start catching up. But they're going to question themselves. And if that happens, now you're going to have teams trying to start decide, like, are they already building slim down side pod variations? But to apply those slim down side pod variations means they're going to have to go through the same wooded path of pitfalls and quicksand and fire and hell that Mercedes went through, which means that puts them 2 seasons behind, which then gives Mercedes at least probably clear 3 seasons of dominance. And then you still don't know the capacity of growth that design has until it starts to plateau. That's the situation. That's one of the cards that could be flipped over. If you ever played Uno, you hate to get that draw 4 card. You hate to get that shit. Because right then you had a Uno card that you was going to smack down and call Uno. That player then had a multicolor draw 4 card, smacked it down on your ass, and just put 5 cards in your hand, while they then will probably be on Uno. Uno out. That's what you're looking at. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. It's possible that it goes the other way. It's possible that this season they plateau in a slim down side pod design. They can't control the wake. They can't develop aerodynamically in order to make this design efficient. And therefore, they start getting surpassed by all the other designs. That's very possible. What's up? Galacticus been a member for how long? 5 months. He going to get ready to come up on his 6 months. Galacticus says, Merc almost finished second last year. This year, they are ahead of what they did last year, and now they got the fuel and aero to match. Let's go, Merc. Another valid point. Mercedes indeed did have issues with fuel, which then caused issues with their performance as far as power output. But then they didn't have a lot of reason to try to push that power because the car wasn't really there aerodynamically. Now the car is. Judical McBoodical, what's up with that Patronus blue badge? If Merc drops the 0 side pods, I'm going to feel some type of way. And let me tell you, a lot of people right now are in name emotions by that because it's a double negative whammy. And why is that? Because this. If Mercedes abandoned the side pod, one, they're going to be on the back foot even more so because it's going to be time for them to be dealing with another design that they're going to have to get their hands on in real time. Two, you're going to feel like you just wasted 2 fucking seasons for something that didn't damn work. I understand that. I'm not mad at that. McJudical, McBoodical, I am not mad at that at all. I'm not mad at that. You got a very good point and reason to feel that way. But you also got a lot of optimism. You got a lot of reason to be optimistic about this. I mean, that's a reason to be optimistic. And then listen, people are saying it is possible Ferrari haven't even turned it up. But still, when they turn it up, are they going to be in 129s? Are they going to be in 129s? I mean, think about this. Right now, these cars, even if they're holding back at 130, are they going to be in 129s? Is Max Verstappen going to come down and qualify and lay a 128? I don't know. It's possible. Max Verstappen is that type of driver. I've said this, when Max gets on the track in qualifying, especially in Q3, I always tell you all, watch out for the hot lap. Mr. Banks, what's up? I called Mr. Banks for you. Man, I called you like a long time ago to reach out to me in the Discord for your shirt, Mr. Banks. Now, I'm going to be coming back around, but I called you a long time ago to reach out for your shirt, Mr. Banks, and I didn't get a message from you in the Discord as to your shipping address. But let me read what Mr. Banks says. Thank you for being a family member for over 6 months. 8 months, you've been a family member. You need to get your shirt. You need to get with me so I can get you your shirt. I think Merc saw something in these side pods. I don't think that they are that arrogant to accept a bad design and redesign the car. That's something. Mary Beanie, Jay, look at Toto's body language is calm. So Merc is good. Double thumbs up. Listen, both of these points by Mr. Banks and again, tripled up by Mary Beanie making some solid ass points. They are that arrogant. Now I'm going to say something. We did see Merc display some arrogance that I think we all disagree with if you're a Mercedes fan, all right? If you like Mercedes, you disagree with it. We saw that Mercedes was unable, or they chose not to take the option to change their race strategy while in a situation that showed that they should have last season. We did see that they chose to stick with tires when they should have pitted and changed to give their drivers a better advantage. And why? Because we've seen that Mercedes has decided when we go within the race with a strategy between two drivers, we are not changing that strategy to give one driver or the other an unequal advantage. Well, I'm going to say it's time to change those ways. We're in a new era. And when Mercedes does things like that, they bring a knife to a gunfight. And I think you all know here on this channel, I am about my guns. Sometimes I have one right here while I'm potting because I got it with me and I put it on the stand and I got it there. I ain't about bringing a knife to a gun. I got a bayonet. I got machetes. I got quick switch blades. I got those. But it better be damn sure when I walk out of my home and I go out into these streets that are uncertain and people I know don't care about working for what they have, I got at least a 9x19 on me. At least, minimal. Mercedes better start packing that firepower. They better show us this season that, hey, they going to change some things up. They need to get on top of their pit stop strategies. That's been a pitfall, and it's been a mess. They need to get on top of their driver strategy. That was a pitfall, and that was a mess last season. They need to start deciding who they are going to be pushing. I know they're in this equal driver situation, but listen, you got two pieces on the board. One of those pieces sometimes has to be used for an advantage of the team or the driver itself. And right now, Lewis Hamilton is your premier, current, in this era, still racing, still active, still competitive GOAT. Best driver of all damn time is debatable, but I'm damn sure going to debate on is. And Mercedes needs to get they shit together and make it happen if they have the ability and the machinery to make it happen. No excuses. I don't want to see the same shit I saw last season. Galacticus. Merc has yet to turn up the engine. Mo power, baby. And I hope that's Mo power and not like Mopar. Mopar Racing, if you don't know what that is. But yeah, you damn right. They got a lot of things they need to get right. They got a lot of things they need to clean up. That pit crew, for you to be as dominant as you've been, to be Mercedes, the la creme of la creme, and have a pit crew that is subpar. They not as good as Red Bull. Last season, they weren't even as good as McLaren. I mean, you got a pit crew equal to Haas and Williams. That's unacceptable. Now I'm calling Mercedes out on things that we all should be calling them out if you're being real with it. If you're a Mercedes fan, you definitely should call it out. I know you don't want to say anything negative about Mercedes because you're a Mercedes fan, but damn it, I'm a fan of the sport, and I'm a fan of wanting to see teams grow and be the best they could be. And Mercedes is not being the best they could be if they pull in the pits and they got times like that. Sub 3 seconds, damn near 4-second pit stop times ain't great. And it ain't good. And that's below what you should be. That's subpar. Those pit stops need to be well in the 2 seconds. We saw McLaren lay down like, what was it, a 1.98? In a new era, I think they were the first team to do it. Not Red Bull, but McLaren did it. So it's possible. And that means you need to get to your damn practice. You need to get on your squad. Your strategist, you need to wake the fuck up. You need to wake up. You need to decide in real time faster than we are at home. There are times where I've been sitting watching the race and I called a strategy well in time. Mercedes had way more time and they still muffed it up. They still called a horrible strategy. I'm looking from home. I don't even have all the data that you have available to you in the pit wall. And I'm calling a better strategy in real time with less information. As many as you are too, and then we see Mercedes go and muff it up. We definitely saw Ferrari go and muff it up. That's without a doubt. We saw them screw it up. But if that is the case, and I know that's on, couch quarterbacking, I know it. But still, if I was right, I was right. If I was right based off what I'm seeing in the race, looking at the lap time board, and I'm calling when you should box, and then you don't box and leave your driver out there to dry, I was right based on the information that I had on my big screen TV while eating French toast and taking notes for finale lap. How in the hell is it that you couldn't get it right? You there at the track, you smelling all the damn motors, you smelling exhaust, tires, you looking at all the teams, you got people that are professional, have collected degrees, have been doing strategy forever, and they couldn't get that shit right? Nah, that's a problem. Either that's a problem that you're accepting or a problem they have because they can't take variables and data and make the right decisions. Either way it goes, you need to fix that shit. Judical McBoodical, what's up? How do you feel about the reports that AlphaTauri potentially being up for sale now? Andretti, Honda, Porsche, high tech. I feel awesome if it is actually real because I spoke to it in the live during testing. I honestly believe that Red Bull should not be able to have 2 teams and 4 cars at their disposal to try to manipulate the race the best they can. I mean, right now it's all fair game and spoils because, they've allowed it. But I don't think it's right. I don't think an owner should be able to have 2 teams. Red Bull should be able to have 2 teams and 4 drivers on the grid. AlphaTauri needs to be separated from Red Bull. It's not like Haas. It's not like Haas. It's not like Mercedes and people try to draw a conclusion about Williams. Literally, when people talk about Williams, they don't say Mercedes-Williams. Literally, when people talk about Haas in reports and professional journalism, they don't say Ferrari Haas. They say Haas. They say Gene Stewart Haas. They mention Gunther and Haas. Now they're going to mention James Vowell and Williams. Albon is not tied in with Mercedes or Ferrari. But every time you see a report about AlphaTauri, it's Red Bull AlphaTauri or Red Bull second team or Red Bull sister team. That needs to be separated. And that team should be sold. And if it's going to be by way of Andretti getting into Formula One, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Not only is it more interesting, but it levels the playing field because I think we saw evidence last season that Red Bull utilized AlphaTauri for a strategic advantage. I don't know why in the hell Yuki knew his car was broke. Yuki knew his damn car was broke. They still told Yuki, even before the end of pit lane, they still knew they could have stopped him there. We saw more than a few times where teams have stopped their car at the edge of pit lane. They stopped, they blocked off pit lane, closed pit lane down, pushed the car back, and then what did AlphaTauri do? They told Yuki to go out on track and then stop. Who really agreed to do some shit like that? Why would they do that? I think we also saw times, and it could be my tinfoil hat on, where we saw teams take penalties that cost them the grid positions, which then bumped other cars up. I'm just saying it's a possibility, and it's something that needs to be deaded. So hell yeah, sell that team. That team needs to be separated. They need to sell it, or they need to just, hey, I just think that I just think that that's an unfair advantage that it could possibly be used. Listen to my words, because some people jump in the comment section and be like, oh, Wolfpack, I possibly be used. I'm just being honest with that. So yeah, I think I'm all for that. I'm all for Andretti getting into the sport because it seems like they scared about this man getting into Formula One. Seems like Formula One and teams are scared about Andretti getting in here and doing this damn thing. And I'm gonna tell you why I also say that, because I think it's utterly damn ridiculous. I think it's utterly damn ridiculous. And let me tell you somebody else who I got to call out on the carpet about this, and I got to call him a clown for what he said and what he's doing. We heard Gunther speak negatively, or at least in opposed to Haas being there and Andretti coming into the sport. We saw this. We heard this much. And I don't know why he would do that. I don't know why Gunther would speak negatively about Andretti getting into the sport when he himself was in the same damn seat. It was Haas who was that team that came into the sport, that was invited into the sport, brand new, not long ago. And now Gunther's up here talking about, well, I don't know why we should let them in. What kind of benefit can they bring to Formula One? Well, shit, what in the hell kind of benefit did you bring to Formula One? What did you do? What did you bring to Formula One that was so damn great? That's what I would like to know, bro. What did you bring to Formula One that was so great? I'm still trying to figure that shit out. I would like to know. Inquiring minds would like to know what you brought to Formula One that was so great, Gunther. What has Haas done in Formula One where they could say it was truly worth letting you guys in? What have you done? Nothing. You have done nothing to show us that it was truly worth letting Haas in the door, besides for seeing a lot of wrecked ass cars, a lot of money damn spent. You've done nothing. And you and other team principals, including Toto Wolff, speaking against Andretti getting into the sport is damn near, is despicable. And they keep moving the goalposts. Andretti, you don't got enough money for the dilution fee. He goes out, gets $200+ million to pay that Enter the Boys good old club fee. Now, Andretti, you need to find you a very good, lucrative partner in order for us to let you in here, because it's about money over the course of time. And Audi has decided that money is not an issue. You need to find you a partner to partner up with, whether that be Porsche or somebody else. What does Andretti do? Andretti goes out, gets General Motors, biggest car manufacturer in the United States of America, partners up and launches with Cadillac. And now that ain't good enough. Well, where's your power unit? You see that right there? You see that? That's Haas. Haas right there. It's 11 teams on this grid. Manor was the team that was going to be out the following season. That's Haas right there, being the 11th team on the grid, although 8th on this board. They were the new team on the grid that were allowed to join Formula One. And to see Gunther or hear Gunther talk about they shouldn't do it is being a hypocrite. What made you any better? You damn sure. Gene Stewart, an American-birthed NASCAR team coming into Formula One. I mean, if that shit ain't damn near confusing, but it happened. So you talk about Andretti, who's a Formula One champion. He can't get, his family and his group can't get no love or get a blessing to come into the sport. Haas losing money because Mick created them. They made them scared. We saw that in Drive to Survive. If you watch Drive to Survive season 5, you got to see how much money Schumacher blew in Haas. Blew it up. He blew it up. Red Bull came in, got the Jaguar. So why is it that Andretti is not receiving more support with everything that he's done and proven that he's willing to go ahead and put together to enter the sport? They scared. Some of them are scared, and Haas is definitely scared because they are the most American, non-American team on the grid. You don't even have an American driver. Williams got that. Although owned by a financial American company, you ain't even got that. You was in quarrels with Russia and doing everything. That's not that didn't represent America. You had a Russian, that was Russia. It ain't German driver. You got a Russian and German driver. You don't even got an American driver. Gunther, your ass living in North Carolina, barbecuing and shit, and your team ain't even damn near really American. But you scared if Andretti get into the sport, you gonna look crazy because America gonna back that like hell. Andretti tied into America deep. Hell, you can go probably anywhere in any major city and see an Andretti Speed Lab karting track. You better stop playing with them. Will Harris, what's up, fam? Jay, what's your take on the W14s? Hold on. What's your take on the W14s underfloor? Merck made for damn sure that tarp was tied under George Russell's car before putting it on the flatbed. You damn right they did. You damn right they did. You damn right. They made sure to cover that car up nice and tight. Why? Because, listen, people, some of you are so tied up into thinking that the side pods is the only problem that Mercedes has to remedy, and it's not. The side pods are not. The floor definitely is a priority. And they were damn sure certain to cover that shit up. Why? Mercedes, along with Red Bull, have made significant changes to their floor. Significant changes. I mean, even if you look from an overview of that floor, you can tell that floor is extremely different. That floor is extremely different, and you can see it. You can see it. The floor is so different, it ain't even funny. So, yeah, they damn sure are going to make sure they covered up a lot of that. They don't want to let that tech out. Hell no, they don't want to let that tech out. They got a lot of money tied up and a lot of development tied up in that floor. Just look at it. Look at the floor from a top view. That floor from a top view is different. So imagine the difference on the underside of that floor. Imagine how different that floor is on the underside. You think they trying to let that shit out? No. With that, no, they not. Hell no. They going to do everything they can to make sure they cover that up. And teams have other photographers out there just for that reason alone to try and get shots of any other team, competitive teams, development, especially when they get ready to get picked up by the crane. And a tow truck, oh, hell yeah, that's prime opportunity to get a photo so we can deduce and look at that and see what they doing and creating so we can see if there's anything we need to add to ours. Hell yeah. You damn right they was going to cover that up. Hell yeah, bro. They was covering that up for sure. They were not trying to let that out, Will. No. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. You know, unlike when we saw Ferrari wreck and then everybody got pictures of their underneath floor and it was out on the web for everybody to see. They business, they panties and drawers was out there for everybody to pick and see what the hell was going on underneath them kilts or them skirts. Hell yeah, man. They damn sure gonna cover that up. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. So, you know, I got, that's what I got for y'all. Y'all, some of y'all need to be patient. And I know some of you all don't have patience based off what happened last season. I'm not mad at you for that. But, you know, as we already saw somebody say with a super chat, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And although the marathon may not be within your time constraints, Ray P, welcome to the family. Do not forget, Ray P, download Discord, go into add YouTube connections, go through that process, sub enable the server, and then click join. It will automatically bring you into the Wolfpack Discord, all right? So, listen, I couldn't sleep. I was sitting up thinking about this. I said, I'm going to go live and talk to you all about this because right now all this is circulating. All this and the hoopla about Mercedes got it wrong again and they screwing it all up. It might very well be true. It might very well be true, but I do not think it is at this point in time. I think I've seen evidence that Mercedes is on a progressive path. What I still need to see is Mercedes develop to progress more. They're going to need to progress more. Now, it is rumored that Mercedes is going to bring an upgrade package somewhere between 4 or 6 races, within 4 or 6 races of the season, which is more than less than halfway through the season, depending on where Mercedes is at that point in time in constructor championship points and driver championship points, still means they would have the ability to win a championship in either our realm. The ability. I'm not saying that they will, but I'm saying if they're within 25 points of the driver championship, some odd points within the same perspective of the constructor championship, that's more than enough time in the season left, depending if their updates are upgrades. Remember, there's a difference between updates and upgrades. Updates, you just changing some shit that's different than your last revision. Upgrades means that update turned in to be beneficial and profitable in pace. That's an upgrade. And they still will have enough time to do that if they get it right, if it actually yields benefits. It's not guaranteed that it will, but I'm not betting, but I'm saying I'm trusting a team that I've seen be resilient in progress, resilient in development, very adamant and passionate about trying to get it right. Although I saw evidence and strategy that would say otherwise, and that's just keeping it real. So I'm going to go because we're going to have 3 hours before we go live again with the race. Come back here, enjoy some good race action from people that has put a lot of time in practicing through the week. I announced the tracks in our groups. They're going to come here. We're going to broadcast the race. We're going to have a good time. You'll be able to, now I will be live in the chat for testing for when they go into pre-practice. We will go live just before free practice kind of ends and we go in to start quali. So if you want to participate in the race and you race on F1 22 and you want to participate, my gamer tag is Wolfpack F1. Send me a friend request on EA's platform, not Xbox. You can also do Xbox, but send me it on EA's platform because that's cross platforms. Whether you got PC, PlayStation, Xbox, you'll be able to get an invite there. Now I'm going to tell you, we had a wanker that came into our midst and decided he was going to come in and race and just wreck people out for the fun of his ability to come in and just cause disturbance in the Wolfpack fam. I'm not going to play that shit. If my drivers see that you are being that type of person, and I do have some broken hypocrite, that bro a pro, all right? He up there. Trust me, he ranked in the world. Okay, ADVR, Hillian, Wildcat, all them know when they see somebody doing something. Josh, they all know when they see somebody doing something. So if I get note of that and I see it, I'm going to kick your ass out. I'm going to kick you out. Other than that, have fun, race hard. Accidents do happen. Come in and have a good time. All right, Galacticus, remember 23 GPs, 6 sprints, a lot of time to win. And at first it was 30 altogether. It was going to be 24 races, 6 sprints, 30 races altogether. And we talked about that in the live too, all right? So, hey, big shout out to you all. I'm about to get out of here, get ready shortly to go live for the racing, and then we're going to go live again later this evening because we got a one-on-one battle. And the driver that wins that one-on-one battle is going to win a steering wheel. This is the type of shit we do here at Wolfpack. They're going to win a Fantic steering wheel. All right? That's what we're doing. That's what they're going to win. They're going to win this. All right? So the driver that wins today in the one-on-one battle will win a steering wheel to improve and upgrade their setup. That's the type of shit we do here. Show me another platform doing the same. So don't diss us over here at Wolfpack. We do things different. We're a little different. We know sometimes people don't like what we do and what we stand for, but hey, can't like everything. And I don't try to make everybody like me. I just be myself in hell. Everybody that accepts me, we get along. Everybody. And don't forget, we do get tipsy on race days. When people win, we get tipsy on race day. We pop them bottles, so believe that shit. So I think this year we're going to pick the bottle of choice for Formula One, the Ferrari. So we're going to pick that. I'm going to get some bottles like that, and then I'm also going to ask you all what team you want to pop bottles for because we have more than just Mercedes fans in our family and in our subscriber group and in our viewership base. So I'm going to put that poll up and see which team you want to pop bottles for. I will put, the top 4 teams, of course, because if we pick one of the other teams, then we just going to be sober all season. We're going to be sober all season. I'm going to have champagne sitting on the shelves that ain't never going to get popped, all right? So I will see you all soon. I really appreciate all the love. I really appreciate all the subscribers, the viewers. I appreciate you double times over for joining the family and triple times over for supporting my content, supporting me, and being positive when I need it most. I really appreciate you all. You motivate me. I will see you all shortly. I'm going to go ahead and get a little breakfast in my system. drink some water, take some meds, and then we're going to be live and popping for the Wolfpack Effort Grudge Race. Peace. I'm out.